The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by Next Generation Special Forces, being led by members of Foxhound. They're demanding that the government turn over the remains of Big Boss, and they say that if their demands are not met within 24 The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by Next Generation Special Forces, being led by members of Foxhound. They're demanding that the government turn over the remains of Big Boss, and they say that if their demands are not met within 24 hours, they'll launch a nuclear weapon. You'll have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the president of Armstech, Kenneth Baker. Both are being held as hostages. Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to make a nuclear strike and stop them if they do.
What's the insertion method?
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim. High-Tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mattis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter. And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake?
The man with the same codename as you. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP?
Yes. This is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support. It's been a long time, Snake.
I should have known you were behind this, Colonel.
That's no way to greet an old war buddy, Snake.
What do you want from me?
I just invited you here so we could have a talk.
Invited? That's what you call sending armed soldiers after me?
Sorry if they were a little rough with you. But we've got a serious situation here. Only you can get us out of it.
I'm retired from Foxhound. You're not my commander anymore, and I don't have to take orders from you or anyone else.
You will take these orders. I know it.
Excuse me.
Who's this?
Dr. Naomi Hunter. She's chief of Foxhound's medical staff, and an expert in gene therapy.
Are you military?
No, civilian. I've been sent here from ATGC. Pleasure to meet you, Snake. Don't worry, this injection won't hurt a bit.
What's the shot for?
What's wrong? You don't like shots?
Snake, listen up. It all went down 5 hours ago. Heavily armed soldiers occupied Shadow Moses Island, a remote island off the coast of Alaska.
What soldiers?
Next Generation Special Forces, led by members of Unit Foxhound. They've presented Washington with a single demand, and they say that if it isn't met, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
Exactly,
A
yeah.
nuclear weapon?
I'm afraid so.
Fukushima carried.
You see, the island is the site of a secret nuclear weapons disposal facility.
Foxhound hijacking a nuclear weapon?
Now you understand how serious the situation is. You'll have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, and the president of Armstech, Kenneth Baker. They're both being held as hostages.
Those are some heavy-duty hostages.
Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to launch a nuclear strike, and stop them if they do. Any questions, Snake?
Questions? I haven't even said whether I'd accept this mission.
Well, you can make up your mind after you hear more about the situation.
Colonel, I don't work for the government anymore. Let me go back to Twin Lakes.
Why, Snake? Is your life in Alaska all that great?
There's a dog sled race this week. Next Saturday, I have to be in Anchorage.
The Iditarod? The longest sled race in the world? When did you become a dog musher?
Right now, my 50 Huskies are my only family. I've got to take care of them.
Don't worry about your dogs.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, Snake, but this vessel is headed for the Bering Sea. There's no room for debate.
I told you, even if I do owe you, I don't owe anything to this army or this country.
You will accept this assignment.
Why should I be stupid enough to do that? I'm no patriot.
Snake, there's enough dirt in your file from your days as an agent to keep you in the stockade until you're a very old man.
Oh, I see. Blackmail.
No, Snake. I prefer to look at it as helping you come to a decision more easily. But anyway, I know you better than that. You take this assignment even without the threat.
Why do you say that?
You're a natural-born soldier. You're not the grow old gracefully type. It's the same for all of us who've seen real action. The only place we can feel truly alive is on the battlefield. I'm a soldier too. I know those feelings of powerlessness, frustration that you feel every day. You've tried to play the Boy Scout out there in Alaska, but you can't race dogs in the snow forever. Why don't you come back to us and be a soldier again?
You think my life is some kind of a joke?
Snake, I just want to give you back your purpose in life.
Tell me about the nuclear weapon disposal facility.
The disposal facility includes a hardened underground base. Even with our most advanced intelligence gathering equipment, we can't tell what's happening inside.
So someone needs to penetrate, gather intelligence, and report back. Sounds like a spy movie. What's the insertion method?
Well, an air insertion is impossible.
Not with this storm going on.
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
Approach?
Yes, within a few miles of it. The facility is equipped with sonar detection capabilities. They'd be able to hear our engine or propeller noise.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV.
Launch?
Same as a torpedo, only this has no propulsion device of its own. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim.
You want me to swim in sub-zero Alaskan water?
Don't worry. That suit represents the latest advances in polythermal technology. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP?
Yes. This is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support.
What's the time limit?
24 hours. They say they'll launch after 24 hours.
Do they say what the target will be?
So far, they haven't mentioned the target.
When did the countdown start?
5 hours ago.
Colonel, who are you speaking for?
Naturally, I'm representing the US government.
So who's in supervisory control of this operation?
The President of the United States.
Which means that the President must be meeting with his top aides in the map room about now, huh?
No, at this point they're still video conferencing with each other.
If that's a real nuclear warhead, shouldn't they issue a COG?
Not yet. The Secretary of Defense has operational control and is fully aware of the situation. After you infiltrate, if you determine they possess nuclear launch capabilities, a COG will be issued.
Well, if they haven't relocated to the nuclear shelter under Mount Washington, I suppose there isn't that much reason to worry yet. Is the National Security Agency in on this?
Yes. So is the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency.
The DIA? I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this.
They'll be sending us some support.
We don't need desk jockeys. We need a nuclear weapons specialist.
Of course. A nuclear weapons specialist has already been assigned to us.
We need backup from a specialist. I'm just an amateur when it comes to nuclear weapons.
I know. That's why I've requested the assistance of a military analyst named Nastasha Romanenko. She'll be providing you backup by Kodak.
A female analyst?
She's built up an impressive record as an advisor for the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. Contact her if you have any questions. She's also an expert on high-tech weapons.
Where's she working from?
At her home in Los Angeles.
California. Seems like a million miles away. Colonel, you're retired. Why are you involved in this?
Because there aren't many people who know Foxhound as well as I do.
Is that really the only reason?
I've been soldiering for a long time. I don't know anything else. I guess even though I'm getting a little old, I still love to be in the field.
Colonel, you're a lousy liar. Tell me the real reason.
Okay, Snake. Sorry. I'll be frank. A person very dear to me is being held hostage.
Who is it?
My niece, Meryl.
What was your niece doing here?
Several soldiers were reported missing the day of the revolt. And my niece was one of those called in as an emergency replacement.
She looks like you.
She's my little brother's girl. He died in the Gulf War, and since then I've been watching after her.
A personal motive, Colonel. That's not very soldierly.
I'm retired. I'm just an old man now. And I'm your friend.
Since when are we friends?
I've thought of us as friends since the fall of Zanzibar.
With my personality, I don't have too many friends.
That's what I trust about you. It's what makes you human. Please, Snake. Save my niece, Meryl.
All right. But I have two conditions.
Name them.
1, no more secrets between us. I want complete disclosure at all times. And 2, I'll only accept orders directly from you, Colonel. No cutoffs involved, okay?
Agreed. That's why I was called. But one thing.
What?
I'm not a colonel anymore. Just a retired old warhorse.
I understand, Colonel. that doctor, is she part of this operation too?
She was in charge of Foxhound's gene therapy. She knows more about those men than anyone else.
You mean you've seen them naked?
Make no mistake, I'm not a nurse. I'm a scientist.
By the way, what was that injection for?
It's a combination of nanomachines and an anti-freezing peptide so that your blood and other bodily fluids don't freeze, even at subarctic temperatures.
Nanomachines?
Not just one kind, either. There are different types which will replenish the supply of adrenaline, nutrition, and sugar in your bloodstream.
Now I don't have to worry about food.
I also put some nootropics in there.
Say what?
Nootropics. A class of drugs which will help improve your mental functioning.
It'll make me smarter, huh? Anything else?
Yes. Benzedrine. It's a type of stimulant. It'll keep you alert and responsive for 12 straight hours.
That was quite a cocktail. Anything else in there?
Those nanomachines will also keep your Codex batteries charged up.
I guess I can call you when I'm ready to go on a diet.
You're welcome.
The chief of DARPA and the president of an arms manufacturing company. What business did they have at a nuclear weapons disposal facility?
The truth is that secret exercises were being conducted at the time the terrorist group attacked.
Must be extremely important exercises if those two were directly involved. Were they testing some kind of new advanced weapon?
I'm not privy to that information.
Do we know exactly where they're being held?
The DARPA chief has also been injected with a mini transmitter. As you get closer, you should be able to pick up his location on your radar.
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuclear missile?
They say they do. They even gave us the serial number of the warhead they plan to use.
Was the number confirmed?
I'm afraid so. At the very least, they've got their hands on a real nuclear warhead.
Isn't there some kind of safety device to prevent this type of terrorism?
Yes. Every missile and warhead in our arsenal is equipped with a PAL, which uses a discrete detonation code.
PAL.
Permissive Action Link. The safety control system built into all nuclear weapons systems. But even so, we can't rest easy.
Why not?
Because the DARPA chief knows the detonation code.
But even if they have a nuclear warhead, it must have been removed from its missile. All the missiles on these disposal sites are supposed to be dismantled. It's not that easy to get your hands on an ICBM.
That used to be true. But since the end of the Cold War, you can get anything if you have enough money and the right connections.
How well armed are these terrorists? I know there was an exercise going on at the time they revolted.
They're heavily armed, I'm afraid.
What about their battle experience?
The 6 members of Foxhound in charge are all hardened veterans. They're tough enough to eat nails and ask for seconds.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Foxhound.
The others are next-generation special forces. They're not your average grunts either.
So what exactly are they demanding?
A person's remains.
Remains?
That's right. To be more accurate, cell specimens which contain the individual's genomic information.
Cell specimens? Why would they want that?
The terrorists need them. You see, these next-generation special forces have been strengthened through gene therapy.
Strengthened?
You've heard of the Human Genome Project. They've been mapping the human genome, and they're nearly finished. Following up on this research, the military has been working towards identifying those genes which are responsible for making effective soldiers.
There are genes that do that?
Yes. And using gene therapy, they're able to transplant those genes into regular soldiers.
Gene therapy?
I'll explain this part. With gene therapy, we can remove those genes which we know may lead to sickness or disease, and at the same time splice in genes with beneficial effects, such as resistance to cancer, for example.
In other words, we can overcome all sorts of genetic diseases, and at the same time add genetic characteristics as desired.
Okay. And so if you knew what genes were responsible for making the perfect soldier, you could implant them in the same way, right?
Yes, we could.
But it all depends on being able to isolate and identify those soldier genes.
And in order to do that, it's helpful if you can study the genomic information of one of the greatest soldiers ever.
One of the greatest soldiers ever?
The man they call the greatest warrior of the 20th century.
You don't mean Big Boss.
That's right. We've been working feverishly to identify the genes responsible for his incredible combat skill. So far, we've discovered about 60 of the so-called soldier genes.
So his body was recovered after all.
Yes, and his cells have remained frozen in a cryo chamber. His genomic information is a priceless treasure to mankind.
Priceless to the military, perhaps.
His body was burned severely, but it was possible to restore his DNA profile from just a single strand of his hair.
You people are amazing. And then you're gonna transplant those genes into soldiers?
Yes. We'll use a process that I discovered called gene targeting. The strongest soldiers don't become what they are by acquiring their skills through training or experience. We now know that hereditary factors are far more crucial for creating superior soldiers.
Snake, we can't give them his body. It's potentially more dangerous than all the nuclear warheads on that island put together.
I hear the terrorists are calling themselves the Sons of Big Boss.
The Sons of Big Boss? Tell me about these next-generation special forces.
They started out as an anti-terrorist special ops unit, made up of former members of biochem units, technical escort units, and the nuclear emergency search team. Their purpose was to respond to threats involving next-generation weapons of mass destruction, including NBC weapons.
Until they were added, that is.
Who's they?
These guys didn't start out as regular army.
Looks like a pretty international group. Mercenaries?
Yeah, and it gets worse. Most of them were from a merc agency that I think you're familiar with. They were part of Big Boss's private guard. And after Big Boss went down, the military just bought out all their contracts.
Outer heaven.
After that, they were merged with our own VR unit, Force 21, and retrained. If you ask me, these so-called next-generation special forces should be called simulated soldiers. They have no real battle experience.
Video game players, huh?
Don't forget they've all been strengthened with gene therapy. They carry genes which make them excellent soldiers. Don't get careless just because they don't have much experience.
I thought using genetically modified soldiers was prohibited by international law.
Yes, but those are just declarations, not actual treaties.
The interesting thing is that nearly every member of the unit conspired in this attack.
How could an entire unit be subverted to rebellion?
They're calling it a revolution.
Since they all went through the same gene therapy, they probably felt closer than brothers. They see the unit as their only family.
The Sons of Big Boss. But if they were regular army, they must have been interviewed periodically by army counselors.
According to their files, they all got straight A's on their psychological tests. They all seemed like fine, upstanding, patriotic soldiers.
But they all took part in the uprising?
No. Several people didn't show up on the day of the exercise. That's why there was a resupply of troops.
Was there any sign recently that something might be wrong?
There was a report a month ago that they were acting strangely.
Apparently they consulted classified information about the soldier genes and performed their own gene therapy experiments.
They can do that even without you?
Well, our gene therapy process is almost completely automated. And besides that, they're all geniuses with IQs over 180.
Even the existence of this genome army is a national secret of the highest order. We've been hoping to investigate this thing quietly and deal with it behind closed doors. High-Tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of. An elite group combining firepower and expertise. They're every bit as good as when I was commanding them.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mantis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter.
Looks like a lovely bunch of folks. Too bad we'll be meeting under these circumstances.
And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound's squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake?
Yes. And you're the only person who can stand against him.
Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake. The man with the same codename as you.
Tell me what you know.
He fought in the Gulf War as a teenager, the youngest person in the SAS. His job was to track down and destroy mobile Scud missile launching platforms. You were there too, I believe. Didn't you infiltrate Western Iraq with a platoon of Green Berets?
I was just a kid myself back then.
The details are classified, but it seems that originally he penetrated the Middle East as a sleeper for the SIS.
He was a spy for the British Secret Intelligence Service?
But he never once showed his face in Century House. He was taken prisoner in Iraq, and after that there was no trace of him for several years. After you retired, he was rescued and became a member of Foxhound.
I thought that by the time I left they were no longer using codenames.
I don't know his real name. That information is so highly classified that even I can't look at it. Here's a photo of him. Pretty shocking, huh? His skin tone is different, but otherwise you two are exact duplicates.
I have a twin?
I don't know the details, but it seems so. That's why we really need you for this mission.
You're the only one who can beat him. Now that I've met you, I know. You've got something that he doesn't. I can see it in your eyes.
Why don't I find that thought more comforting?
I need to listen to this music for a second. I find it really good. Yeah, the writing and the atmosphere is impressive to this very day. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the briefing file is optional. They cut it out for a good reason, yeah, but I wanted everything. That is not the main game, that is optional content.
I need to borrow...
Wait, what? That was new. But I really like those videos and those files, because they are so high quality. We won't do the entire VR training. I can even do an entire VR training before we start. I remember as a kid I prepared for everything, like for a real operation, you know. As a kid you think, okay, let's read the briefing and prepare. What was it for a cutscene? Ah, okay.
I need to borrow your scissors.
What are you going to do?
Don't worry, just gonna clean myself up a little.
Huh?
I don't want to be mistaken for the leader of the terrorists.
I play with a controller. You can also likely play with a keyboard and mouse, yeah, but of course the game was originally designed for controllers. Okay. And after training mode, you unlock another mode. Man, there was so much content in this game. Simply, I mean, and back in the days, you didn't have the much internet.
Who's that?
How do I walk? Was it sneaking in the original? Probably not. I mean, back in the days there was no analog controllers, yeah? That game was designed for the regular controller without analog sticks. So I guess either there must be a modifier button, or that was simply not a thing.
Impressive, Snake.
Okay, let's start the game. There's a lot of firearms training, stealth training, takedown training. They even released an expansion pack with another 200 VR missions. Was on a separate disc, I think, yeah. Okay, let's go.
be through here. I know it. I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1 you can also play perfectly with keyboard because you don't need any analog controls like gradual movement speed. So that was another thing.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface, but make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
What was that noise? Huh?
Snake, there's an elevator there you can take up to the ground. You'll just have to wait for the elevator to come down. You better hide somewhere.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
Thanks to the VR training I did on board the Discovery.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy, I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there.
An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it.
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up.
Behind D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed. There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, you must be crazy to fly a Hind in this kind of weather.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you to yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your codec, as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours.
Come on. I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake. But I'm surprised. You're very frank for a trained killer.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to learning about the man behind the legend. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system. The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots are your enemy. Snake, your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful.
We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by codec anytime you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Seriously, Snake, we're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice.
I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want me to record your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it.
Remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked. You need to arm yourself with whatever weapons you can find.
I remember. First, I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor. By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids.
Cigarettes? How are those going to help you?
You never know.
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
I can't just knock on the door and ask them to let me in. There's one sentry on the left and one on the right. They're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples.
What about the air duct near the door? There should also be a duct on the second floor.
I can't see it from here.
I'll let you decide the best COA. I'm counting on you, Snake.
You called Snake? Snake, remember what the Gaul said. The graveyards are full of indispensable men. Snake, you're all alone and surrounded by bad guys. Try to be careful and avoid getting into a fight whenever you can.
You're right. Wow, you know all sorts of great quotes, don't you?
Well, both my parents are from Guangdong, China, but I was born and raised in America. I've always liked reading literature from both sides. Kinda keeps me in touch. I'll share some more quotes with you if you like.
I'm looking forward to it. But to tell you the truth, I'd like to learn more about you.
Well, I'll think about it.
Snake, hold your horses, man. Dude was too long in Alaska. Keep the snake in the pants, basically.
A surveillance camera?
Ja, Jimmy, was it's not that crazy of. David. Need a grenade or something. Nice. No suppressor. Can also shoot cameras, but without suppressor it's a bit dangerous. But I need that item. Yes, yes. Let's see if we can find somewhere chaff grenades. There was also an item on the heliport, right? Yeah. Oh shit. Good, we got grenades. Stun grenade. Ah, flashbangs again. Ah, that guy left. Ah, damn it. Burning.
That base must have some kind of ventilation system to recirculate.
Yeah, you don't say, man. I'm just standing in front of it. Okay.
That base must have some kind...
I remember playing the demo as a kid. So it was really... I think Metal Gear Solid... Nah. Not the first.
Snake, this is McDonald Miller. It's been a long time.
Master, what are you doing here?
I quit being a drill instructor, so I moved out here for some peace and quiet. I'm in retirement, just like you. Once in a while, I still help train the Alaskan Scouts.
Passing on the skills to a new generation, huh?
Campbell told me about the situation here. I thought I might be of some use.
There's no one I'd rather have in a foxhole than you.
Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska longer than you, so call me if you have any questions about the flora or fauna out here. My frequency is 141.80.
And even the demo was a work of love. You only had that starting area, but there was a lot of secrets hidden. I don't know, I played the demo, alone the demo 10 hours. Because I was so excited for the release. Guess there was nothing before that was like this. It's completely new.
I moved the DARPA chief to the cell in the first floor basement.
What about the vent shaft cleaning?
They just opened the vent covers. They're about to start spraying for rats.
First floor basement ventilation shaft.
Shut those covers as soon as they're done spraying. Also, keep your eye on that woman in the cell. Don't get careless now.
Woman in the cell?
Did something happen?
There's an intruder.
Really?
He's already done 3 people.
He's killed 3 people?
Yeah.
That's what
Say he's using stealth, too.
Stealth? There's an intruder besides me?
Anyway, I want you to increase the security detail on the chief.
Use the elevator to change floors. There should be a cargo elevator that you can take down somewhere around there. Try to find it.
Jimmy, that's gonna be good. Yeah, I guess that is a shaft. I might check for items, but it was other entrance. Yeah, come on. Sure, there's no treasure.
Look at the radar. It's picking up the DARPA chief. He's the green dot. Hurry and rescue him. Look at the radar. It's picking up the DARPA chief. Come on.
Snake, there's a letter in front of you. Yeah, but they're optional, yeah? You don't need to take them. It's also, like those forced messages in Death Stranding, man, and 5,000, and they are rather short. Spartan style. While using very good language. Yes.
Is that a woman? Not him.
Snake, the DARPA chief's signal is coming from somewhere in that area.
Who's that?
I'm here to save you. You're the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, right?
You here to save me, huh? What's your outfit?
I'm the pawn they sent here to save your worthless butt.
Really? It's true. You don't look like one of them. In that case, hurry up and get me out of here.
Slow down. Don't worry. First, I want some information about the terrorists.
The terrorists?
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuke?
What are you talking about?
The terrorists are threatening the White House. They say if they don't accede to their demands, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
Sweet Jesus.
Is it possible?
It's possible. They could launch a nuke.
How do they plan to launch? I thought this place was just for keeping the dismantled warheads. They shouldn't have access to a missile.
What I'm about to tell you is classified information. Okay? We were conducting exercises with a new type of experimental weapon. A weapon that will change the world.
What?
A weapon with the ability to launch a nuclear attack from any place on the face of the Earth. A nuclear-equipped walking battle tank.
Metal Gear. It can't be.
You knew? Metal Gear is one of the most secret black projects. How did you know that?
We've had a couple of run-ins in the past. So that's the reason you were here at this disposal site?
Why else would I come to a godforsaken place like this?
I had heard the Metal Gear project was scrapped.
On the contrary, it's grown into a huge joint project between ArmsTech and ourselves. We were going to use this exercise as raw data and then proceed to mass production. If it hadn't been for the revolution.
Revolution?
Rex has fallen into the hands of terrorists.
Rex?
Metal Gear Rex. The code name for the new Metal Gear prototype. They're probably already finished arming the warhead they plan to use with Rex. These guys are pros. They're all experienced in handling and equipping weapons.
Hey! Shut up in there, will ya?
That's basically a meme.
But I thought that all nuclear warheads were equipped with safety measures. Some kind of
became a
detonation
meme.
code that you have to input.
Oh,
Shut up, will ya?
you mean PAL? Yes.
Same
of course,
like a.
there is a PAL.
What is a Russian gunship
It's
doing
set
here?
up so that
There's
you need to
all those
input two
one-liners
different
that
passwords in
are
order
being
to
quoted
launch
to
the
this very
device.
day.
There are 2 passwords?
Yes. Baker knows one, and I know one.
Baker, the president of ArmsTech.
That's right. Each of us needs to input our password, or there can be no launch. But they found out my password.
You talked?
Psycho Mantis can read people's minds. You can't resist.
Psycho Mantis?
One of the members of Foxhound. He has psychic powers.
This is bad.
It's just a matter of time before they get Baker's too.
If they find out Baker's password...
Yes, they'll be able to launch a nuke anytime. But there is a way to stop the launch.
What?
The card keys.
Card keys?
They were designed by ArmsTech, the system developers, as an emergency override. Even without the passwords, you can just insert the card keys and engage the safety lock.
And if I do that?
Yes. You can stop the launch.
That card key.
So where are the keys?
Baker should have them. Listen, you need 3 card keys. There are 3 different slots to put them in. You need to insert a card into each one of them.
Okay, 3 card keys. Do you know where they might be keeping Baker?
Somewhere in the second floor basement.
Second floor basement?
I heard the guards say they moved him to an area that has a lot of electronic jamming.
Any other clues?
Yes, they cemented over the entrances, but didn't have enough time to paint them. Why don't you look for the areas where the walls are a different color? Here, take this. It's my ID card. It'll open any level 1 security door. It's called a PAN card. It works together with your body's own electrical field.
Personal area network, huh?
It transmits data using the salts in your body as the transmission medium. As you approach the door's security devices, they'll read the data stored in the card.
And the doors will open automatically. Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna get you out of here.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
You haven't heard any other way to disarm the PAL, have you? From your bosses or anyone?
No.
Are you sure you haven't heard anything?
I just said no.
So does the White House plan to give in to the terrorists' demands?
That's their problem. It has nothing to do with my orders.
But what about the Pentagon?
Pentagon? What is it?
Hey, what happened?
Dead.
Naomi, the chief. What happened?
I don't know. It looked like a heart attack, but...
A heart attack? No.
Colonel, are you hiding something from me?
Absolutely not. Snake, you've got to understand. This op is security level red. You need the highest security clearance to get access to the complete file.
You want me to believe that you're in charge of this op, but you don't have complete access to the file?
I told you, the Secretary of Defense is in operational control. I'm just here as your support. Snake, we don't have time to debate. Get out of there and find President Baker.
Don't move! So you killed the chief, you bastard! Liquid? No, you're not. Don't move!
Is this the first time you ever pointed a gun at a person? Your hands are shaking. Can you shoot me, rookie?
Careful, I'm no rookie.
Liar. That nervous glance, that scared look in your eyes. They're rookie's eyes if I ever saw them. You've never shot a person, am I right?
You talk too much.
You haven't even taken the safety off, rookie.
I told you I'm no rookie!
You're not one of them, are you?
Open that door. You've got a card, don't you?
Why?
So we can get the hell out of here!
Looks like we'll be a little delayed.
What are you doing? Don't think! Shoot! What are you waiting for? Shoot!
Don't talk to me like a rookie!
I'm telling you, shoot!
Ah! help.
Wait! Who are you?
You fool! You've killed him! I'm sorry, sir.
His mental shielding was very strong. I could not dive into his mind.
Now we'll never get that detonation code.
Boss, I have a good idea.
Naomi, I just had some kind of hallucination. Is it from the nanomachines?
No, Snake. The nanomachines are functioning properly.
So what was it?
It must have been psychometric interference coming from Psycho Mantis, Foxhound's psychic. Think of it as a mental feedback loop.
So that was Mantis.
Naked chimneys. Wasn't there something funny you could do? I guess not. And this game still holds up so good. It's a perfect. The writing, not too much, not too little. Sure, gameplay-wise, it's a bit old school compared to more modern stealth games, but still fun to play. And the soundtrack. The sound in this game is phenomenal. That is considering. But yeah, those PlayStation dudes, man, they really paid a lot of attention for good audio. They couldn't even get on a PC the sound proper. The PlayStation was, yeah, not graphically ahead. Came to the other, yeah, especially PC. But sound-wise, the PlayStation was for many years pole position. I can hear that. I mean, I'm running the emulator. It's the music, the acoustical quality is amazing. Even better than certain nowadays games. It's crystal clear. And that for '98, it was not common. And a lot of PC games, if you check them, for example, Deus Ex was released 2001. So 3 years later, yeah, I can't tell even on stream. It's crazy, man. The sound, the music is so good, or the entire audio experience, also the voiceovers are, I think, professionally recorded. Really Hollywood experience, basically. The good Hollywood experience when they did good movies. And if you compare PC, I don't know, Half-Life 1 or Deus Ex 1 released 2001, amazing game, but the sound is, of course, it's cool. I like this old school sound, yeah. But it is definitely a different quality. That here is basically top quality up to this very day. That is... It's crazy with the headphones, man. It's blasting me away. I had to think even if I installed some sound mod over there, but no. I'm running here the original PlayStation 1 ISO, yeah. It's amazing. The soundtrack is... And yeah, that's why you should stick also with the PlayStation version. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 1 Master Edition is not that bad, but they cut a lot of stuff out here. All those Metal Gear Solid Master collections, I don't know, perhaps I'm pretty sure there's on Nexus stuff to restore those. They cut songs out because they didn't have the license anymore, or some posters and whatever. And yeah, perhaps even Konami did some, you know, that content is not appropriate anymore, whatever. Exactly, I think for example that naked dude here, I don't care. I mean, that is, I don't really care. They gave that naked dude pants. While in the original you have this censored. I mean, that is of course not much I care for, but why change it? Yeah, it's something so stupid because it is anyway silly. Who will get offended by that censored butt there? Wow. Shit, exactly. Forgot that is also a thing. Yeah, that definitely. But the sound, man, is blasting me away. And yeah, they couldn't get it right on the PC version. It was a Master Collection, I got it right, but I still think PlayStation 2 you can play the Master Collection because if you don't own a PlayStation controller, because you need, if you want to play the original, you need that, or you don't need, but you would profit a ton from the pressure controls. Because the original PlayStation 2 controller had analog buttons, not digital. Yeah. So, I mean, they were not completely analog. It's not like 1%, 100%. I think they had two stages, yeah. Half pressed, full pressed. So, but still, most modern controllers don't have that. It was also not that great. It was always rather annoying to press down a button half. It was a bit too much fine. But yeah, so there you might rather profit from the PC version. But Metal Gear Solid 1 you can play on a PC even without controller. Everything is digital. There's definitely more. One somewhere else inside, right? On the other hand, it would blow off the wall. Is it really only two? The soundtrack, man, is, I mean, quality aside, or acoustic quality aside, also simply from the composition. This, when you are in those shafts, or if you read the briefings and you have this somewhat claustrophobic, I guess that's what they wanted to create, that you feel really immersed in this claustrophobic, being in some sort of compound, military compound. They really hit that perfectly. Yeah, back in the days. Massively limited by hardware, but pulling it off with massive talent and ideas, fantasy. nowadays unlimited when it comes to hardware, but about the other thing I can discuss. I guess it is not a... here. Okay. 3. Can I detonate them all at the same time? Or was the proximity? Let's detonate. Yeah, that blew all off, okay. And please, by the mother of love, don't play first playthrough, please. I did a mistake with my sister. No, that thing didn't blow off, okay, so there is proximity. Don't play Twin Snakes, that is the GameCube remaster. Or rather, remake, dash remaster. Don't do that, simply so much changed. It looks like Metal Gear Solid 2, which is great, of course. If you really have a problem with those graphics, that they have shades instead of eyes, or whatever, but they changed so much, and oh no. Should I need to hit the restroom? Oh, thanks. Which of these is your favorite? Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1. Absolutely. But now, as we recently played Metal Gear Solid 2, I must say I really dug into that. Because I changed a lot. For example, Metal Gear Solid 3 was my favorite. I mean, it has some really nice elements. It is basically a bit more James Bond style, but on the other hand, you have this strange... Oh, they removed that? Okay, but I have one more. Yeah, definitely Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. 1 is, I think, so perfectly designed. It is grounded, but it has some sci-fi elements. This has some of those paranormal elements. Oh shit. But I think the game... okay, I think it allows me from the area, because I didn't save for ages, yeah. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, absolutely. I mean, it is really, I think, one of the best thrillers ever made. One of the best game experiences, even to this very day. It's everything. Pacing, writing, camera. But Metal Gear Solid 2 was also a blast. I mean, this simply, it's so well written, yeah. It's of course more crazy, but still acceptable crazy. And simply those elements, yeah, here, deep state and everything, that is always exciting it's always a good foundation for a nice story. Deep state, AI, man, everything like some massive cover up, yeah. Simply nice. So I would say Metal Gear Solid 1, then Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 1, original PlayStation 1. Metal Gear Solid 2, Master Edition, but heavily modded to restore all this cut content, which they removed, even post 9/11. And then, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3. It's also a great game, but has already some... The villain is a bit stupid, but the boss is the female instructor, mentor is a really good character. Very well written, ending cool. And yeah, with Metal Gear Solid 4 it goes down. Yeah, when here Fukushima left, we figured it out. When Fukushima left, everything went down the drain. And Metal Gear Solid 4 is fan service. Yeah. It has some cool elements, but did I already check it out? Yeah, I think so. No, okay. I liked it as a teenager, but nowadays I find it rather. With 4, it becomes a bit silly. Yes. That's what I mean with Kojima then becoming, I don't know, it's this emotion stuff, man, over people talking 20 sentences but not saying anything. It's this pseudo-intellectualism, pseudo-philosophical. Yeah? I'm dead, but I'm alive as well. Being alone is like being dead. No. Stuff like that, yeah. Give me a thing. The Asuka simulator. Yeah. It had at some point more Twitch viewers than the original. And one thing is I really like this way how they wrote not only games but also movies back in the days. In a pretty sophisticated language, which you also hear. They use very good sentence structure and everything. It's for me more enjoyable. This this modern writing speech. Yeah, what's the course? No, what was it? Fucking course. Those contraptions and swearing to make it more naturalistic. For me, that is always so amateurish. That is for me also. Also, I wanted to play because I already said the expansion pack for Cyberpunk is so good. Gave it a try when I couldn't stand it. It was like playing Twitter. They were all talking like on Twitter, Americans on Twitter. Perhaps there's also, I don't know if there's difference or whatever, but written by TikTok brains. Yeah. It's really amateurish. I mean, everything focused so on pseudo-emotional, pretentious. Yeah? Was that the word? I think that is really pretentious. When you overblow your own writing, when you inject some sort of Nazism, some sort of, oh man, I'm writing the best thing since sliced bread. Exactly, that's also my problem with Cyberpunk. If you scratch only a bit on the surface, if you just venture a bit left to the or right, you realize how superficial that game is. Hideous midlife crisis, yeah. Yeah, but it's also the modern writer mantra. This pretentious, the BioWare or modern Kojima writing or modern, video game writing, modern Hollywood writing is often so pretentious. So you can really feel like the writer wants to I don't know, teach you something, wants to lead you, and exactly. For example, this that the writer basically wants to tell you what opinion you have to make up about the situation. Yeah? While back in the days you had good writers that, for example, left some gray zones, yeah? And you could, I mean, they're pretty sure it still exists, but you know what I mean. There's often this basically spoon fed. Yeah? I think that's what you have. Yeah? Those games that tell you every step. Don't use your own brain. Yeah, consume next product, and everything being spoon fed. Even what you have to think. Yeah? If something happens, I don't know. You are spoon fed what opinion you should come up. Yeah? As in those movies or TV series. And yeah, this writing, this overblown writing, you can really feel it that people write something. And I know that, yeah, so I wrote stuff as a kid. And I was thinking, man, I'm such a good writer. 10 years later, I was perhaps reading that or thinking about that. And I was thinking, okay, it's not that good, man. I was a kid. Yeah. You always, this, yeah. And that is so very common. I don't know. And it seems like also there's no learning or feedback accepted. They continue. Ich bin der nächste Nietzsche, ja. Der nächste Goethe, der nächste Nietzsche, alles zusammen. It's also, what you often see is if they do remasters or Hollywood, you have some director who simply overwrites the original, doesn't even respect it. I don't know, there was one, I think Halo. There was a TV series which I think tanked, nobody watched it because it was 90% about not the Master Chief, or 99%. And then they interviewed the director and the director said something, I never played or read the script of the video games. I was thinking, man, do your job? What the heck? Oh, exactly, the guy who made also here that Im Westen nichts Neues. What is it, the English title? That World War I movie. Didn't watch the originals. I don't know, but sold it like, yeah, no, I don't need it. Find it so, you know, amateurish and lack of respect. If I would be a video game developer, I would quite on the Western Front exactly, yeah, thanks. I would play all those original games, think about what makes them great, yeah, and how you can improve on them or build your own ideas. Something like Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, whatever games you desire. But yeah, writing is really, it makes me sometimes even mad. Reading this nonsensical stuff, this pseudo-intellectual, pseudo-emotional. It's not even pseudo-academic. That would be at least acceptable if they would talk some overblown science stuff or whatever. No, they don't do that. They talk simply, yeah, Goethe's some lyric style and without content. And then some super emotional music plays in the background. Facial expressions are over the top and you are considered to care for it, while 90% don't care for it. It also shows how disconnected those people are sometimes from their audience, that they can't predict that. The original was brilliant just yeah, exactly, after World War I. And they made it even with real veterans, yeah, from World War I. Of course, it has this early movie jank still going on, but all quiet on the Western Front, the new one is also simply shocker in your face, man. Tanks blasting, trenches, which was absolutely contrary. Trenches were rather a problem for tanks, World War I tanks. In French flamethrower, Jimmy stepping up like Terminator. And everywhere is gore and gibbs, blood. And yeah, the normal Jimmy thinks war is brutal, brawl is brutal, yeah, true, but this psychological aspect and this overacting of those actors, man, I don't know. But yeah, some people like it, but whoever has at least some experience in that regard, it's not really that big of a fan. But it's often so. Yeah. A lot of veterans are fan, for example, of the Red Thin Line, which was not a successful movie. Yeah. I always found the closing of the film so poignant, where they show the soldier looking back to the camera one after other as they march towards the front. Looking back to the camera. You mean in the original? The ending, I need to watch it again, yeah. I think it's on YouTube. Yeah, but it was definitely, I mean, quite... They use real guys, yeah. And as you said, yeah, just a couple of years after World War I. It's also sometimes, if you look, I mean, I also don't talk perfectly. I also often say swear words, but does that mean that we don't need to write like that? Shouldn't be writing or book writing, movie writing be of higher quality? What we are gaining out of this naturalism? I find that, yeah, even in those classic movies, when they talk in a more in a better way than in those modern movies. Yeah. But the guy who gets blown up by Adi in a sense. Yeah, exactly. That was an original. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Those hands that was quite back in the days. It was quite unique, but because gore was not really that established in cinema. That was a cool movie, yeah. There's some cool movies. This classic All Quiet on the Western Front. Then this Soviet, was it War and Peace? Nah, this Napoleonic. Oh, no, not War and Peace. That's also, but this Napoleonic movie, which I think to this very day holds a record for, I don't know what, most real horses on screen or something. Yeah, I think even most people on screen, but it was then perhaps Gandhi overdid it. Yeah. Here, Ben-Hur also had some record for most people on screen. And then it got broken by Gandhi. Ben-Hur, yeah. 50s. Crazy, yeah. Ben-Hur was... Ben-Hur was for a long time the second most popular book on the planet. Perhaps, I don't know nowadays. But 15 years ago or something. After the Bible. Huh? And nowadays, man, if I ask people Ben-Hur, they say, what Hure? Jimmy, never heard of Ben-Hur. Who is the Is that Jimmy? Never heard of him. Nobody knows who Ben-Hur is anymore. Yeah, but a pretty cool story, I must say. It's to this very day. I tried to read the book, which is very interesting. It's more a mixed reality of a religious book and that story. But yeah, the movie is cool. Yeah, Ben-Hur was epic. Yeah, it was also quite a big project. Another thing that film did really well was show how the students were encouraged by the schoolmaster to join. Yeah, exactly. In the beginning scene, that teacher, and what this movie also show well is shown in a good way is how that veteran who then becomes a sergeant, that guy who gives him quite a hard time. This, yeah, in the military you are something. Who was in a real life? What was he in a real life? Janitor of the school, something like that, right? Was it janitor or something? But he had military experience, so he got promoted into NCO, and was then basically. And in the school, he was always I mean, it's of course a bit one-dimensional, but it's a bit one-dimensional. There's always this, the military, you know, this the military gives you, but it's true. There's people like that. I remember that as well. It's of course a bit one-dimensional. Yeah? In the military, I'm powerful now and I can now exploit it. Yeah, but it's, I mean, some people are drawn by weapons and sure exists. Yeah? I think it was a janitor or something of the school, but he had, I don't know, experience from the Prussian-French War or whatever, and so he ended up as and he was always friendly to the students and rather a bit submissive, and then the students ended up as his recruits, and he, yeah, gave them a real harsh time until they decided to ambush him at one night and punch him into pieces as some sort of retaliation. After that, he also changed his opinion, and I think he then became more soft after he was ambushed by those unknown students. Yeah, but cool movie. Yeah. I'm not really that fan of let's say pre-60 or pre-70 movies. In the 70s, movie culture, modern movie culture started to establish. By pre-70, you still had this theater influence. Movies, actors behaving like in a theater. With overemphasis on emotions, expressions, but there's of course some exceptions. Man, you know why I'm not doing anything so fast? Because I like the music in this game. It's crazy how they create this being in a military compound. In a high-tech military compound, yeah, you are surrounded by laser barriers, by cameras, and those guys who made those soundtracks back in the days. Out of those, I mean, that is also mostly MIDI here, or it's not full-range music. It's also game music, yeah. But the atmosphere is so massive, man. I could basically here sit now and simply. And it's only a loop, yeah, a loop of 20 seconds or something, or 10 seconds. And it has, of course, this MIDI character, but in a high quality. It's perfect, man. There are some amazing films from before the 60s, not all are like you described, but I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's, of course, some great movies there, but many movies, the majority of them still has this more classic approach, theater approach to cinema. While then, let's say with 60s, 70s, the more realistic style got prominent. Atmosphere, yeah, absolutely. That game has, it's so crazy, man. You could stand here, you can feel the game. It's nuts. The soundtrack is. Perhaps I have rose-tinted glasses. I mean, that was one of my childhood crazy games, but I don't know. Also, from an objective standpoint,
am I too late?
No, there's some good movies. There's some good Soviet movies. Also here, Citizen Kane.
He's alive. You're the Arms Tech president, Kenneth Baker, right?
Some movies which were not even liked, but
don't worry.
Back in the days.
I'm here to save you.
No, don't touch it.
C4.
In the remake, he makes in the GameCube remakes, he makes a double backflip in order to give you an impression how different the original is to the remake.
Special Operations Foxhound. Revolver Ocelot.
Crazy how young that dude was sounding then.
I've been waiting for you,
That is the same voice actor, just sounding 20 years younger.
Now we'll see if the man can live up to the legend.
Crazy. Watch it Nosferatu for more now.
Ever made.
I never watched that.
Single action army.
It's good. I need to check it out.
6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that moves. Now I'll show you why they call me Revolver.
Because as I'm now playing Death Stranding, I realize I struggle with more modern content. There's also great movies and great modern games and movies, sure. But I more and more want to perhaps rather explore those movies and the content I didn't back in the days.
I love to reload during a battle. There's nothing like the feeling of slamming a long silver bullet into a well-greased chamber. All right, I'm alive. Let's go.
Ah, yeah, the guy's ricocheting those rounds. So. Watch out with those.
You better hurry up. The old man's not gonna last too long.
Ah, shit, that guy's dying, man.
Don't you want to settle this?
All those great silent films from Berlin from the 1920s. Yeah, that is for me a complete black box. I don't know much about them. M is Peter Lorre. Played a pedo and child murderer. Oh, okay, sounds interesting. Berlin, 1920. Peter Lorre. Yeah, that is for me black box. I might want to check it out. I need to wait for the reload, so.
But to you, it'll be the smell of your own death. I need help. Wait a minute.
What? That was close.
Wait a minute.
I'm running out of ammunition.
Wait a minute.
Anything by Fritz Lang and more now are worth watching. The Saint. Yeah, but you know, after playing Death Stranding, I might be ready for silent movies. I really noticed how that stressed me out, man. And then the scene there in the trenches, everything thrown at you, but without any context. Those scenes are all great. I mean, here I really like the guy. That actor, what is his name again? Mads Mikkelsen, right? Cool actor. He also made one movie I need to rewatch, where he's almost not talking, which is based on a real story. Very cool. What was that guy in the Middle Ages that got? I think they killed his cow, and dude then went complete haywire. That is a real story. Yeah? Very cool. Some dude in the Middle Ages, they killed his horse or whatever at some taxing border point or whatever for no reason. Dude wanted to reimbursement for that, didn't receive it, went to complete a rebellion. That is also basically the movie carries the name of the character. Really cool. Dude is almost not talking; he's just burning down stuff. No, not World War II. That was Middle Ages, somewhere. They wronged him and killed one, or stole or killed one of his animals. Wait. Also, really cool soundtrack, and it is and the movie is very historical. And that dude is also not looking like a hero. Yeah, because he can't stop, man. He is in the revenge mode. He can't get out anymore. It's basically some sort of John Wick, but in real. Everything started with, I don't know, some cow. Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know how to write him. Oh, I've almost got it. Mads. Okay. Ah ja, Casino Royale, true. Michael Kohlhaas. Age of Uprising, okay, yeah, I know that's some super long title. I just know the movie as, Michael Kohlhaas. There was some, and I never heard of him. And then I watched the movie, I was thinking, who is that guy? And then I read about the historical character, and I think it was quite close to the historical. I was thinking, what? Gee, that was the... Wait, damn it, I didn't read it. What was the problem again? What happened there? Dude went complete, man. Went John Wick. Because... Ah, wait, is it real? Or is it based, is a book? No, that is based, exactly. They did something to his horse. Dude wanted, how do you translate Gerechtigkeit? justice, and he burned down city. She was the historical John Wick, somewhere in Prussia. Perhaps there's some, and they wrote a book about him, and then just perhaps also not that. I mean, sometimes there's of course some elements introduced. Something happened to his horse. They either took it away from him or killed it or whatever. And then dude went all in. Jeremiah Johnson. Let me write it down. No, I tell you, everything before 70s or even before 80s is for me black box, or even before 90s. We watched some in the recent years. I watched some Clint Eastwood movies, especially Dirty Harry and whatever. Yes, it was pretty funny. And I like some elements, and nowadays he couldn't bring it because of political correctness. He's some sort of this, in this one movie, really great scene. It's very written in an intelligent way, where some female officer applies, but she doesn't have that much experience. Everybody, get in, because of political reasoning. Because it seems like they already had in the 70s some sort of, what we call it, affirmative action. What is the name? If you basically, we need a higher percentage of this or that, like pilots or whatever, and then when they start to crash, and he was the only one that objected and asked those tough questions. But then later in the movie, he's the only one that is caring for her, which very intelligent writing. So he was not some sort of a woman shouldn't go into the police. He was simply asking, what is your experience, and how fast do you run? How long can you run? What happens if some dude pulls a weapon? And by everybody else there, yeah, it's fine, yeah, sure, go, yeah. And I think later they work together pretty good. Yeah. She's also tough, but tough not in this retard way, like in those modern movies, where they equal asshole being tough, yeah. But simply smart and courageous, yeah. Not like in the modern movies where they write those characters, okay, we need a tough female, so she has to swear a lot, she has to be an asshole. And I think that is smart writing. That he's not some woman hater or whatever, some chauvinist, yeah? But here, Jenny, Jimmy, Tony, I don't care, man. You can be green. I think there's one sentence also where he says, I don't care if you're a woman, man, black, white, I hate you all the same. I don't know, was it perhaps some other quote? But something like that you couldn't show nowadays. That would be already so young. We can show you. Yeah, we need some here political correctness. Why that? I think that is authentic. Yeah, that's exactly what we strive for. That your identity is not important. Very cool. Unfortunately, nowadays you couldn't bring that. Western, yeah, cool. Western I would like to watch again. Or more. So some westerns I never watched. Yeah, nice. I might check that. Robert Redford, cool. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. Wait, let me add that to my main browser. It seems like they had back in the days they had less boundaries, and this didn't mean that they became assholes or whatever. Those stories were often already written pretty good. Way better than nowadays, man. Nowadays it's basically check marking, and that's why I also go back with the content. I think it's politically driven. Everybody's too afraid of doing anything. Everything is the same, man, as if they clone those writers in California or Montreal, somewhere they have a clone station. Unforgiven. Der war erbarmungslos. Yeah, will also now go on that because I tried so much. I also tried to be open-minded, but I won't try to go back in history then forward when it comes to content. Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood. I know, but did I watch that recently? No. I need to check that out again, yeah. Wait, I remember that was here with, yeah. Yeah, he did really some good movies. And there's really a lot to watch, especially those old school westerns or whatever, they're pretty cool. I don't know many of them. Was there a way in Metal Gear Solid 1, no? To dodge? I don't think so, right? I honestly can't remember. No, it wasn't okay. Unforgiven shows a more realistic western, not glorifying violence, yeah. Ah, you trigger them one by one.
Am I too late? He's alive. You're the Arms Tech president, Kenneth Baker, right? Don't worry. I'm here to save you.
No, don't touch it!
C4.
Right. Touch that wire, and the C4 will blow up along with the old man. So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
And you?
Special Operations Foxhound. Revolver Ocelot. I've been waiting for you, Solid Snake. Now we'll see if the man can live up to the legend. This is the greatest handgun ever made. The Colt Single Action Army. 6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that moves. Now I'll show you why they call me Revolver. Draw! Hiding won't help you. I understand the bullets you see. I make them go where I want. I love to reload. All right, alive. Let's go. Don't you want to settle this? I love the smell of corn. You know, that sulphur smell. But to you, it'll be the smell of your own death. Wait a minute.
Wow, I almost killed it, bro.
Wait a minute.
Dude, it's so Man, I think the auto-targeting system is also targeting the other guy. The Kenneth Baker. It's fun. I love when it appears. I mean, because it's old school. That's crazy how good this game feels. Like being at home, and I don't even care that they're getting here wrecked by a Revolver Ocelot. I think I remember as a kid I also struggled. The dude is predicting pretty good. Need to change your movement.
Am I too late?
While the round is incoming.
Hiding won't help you. I understand the bullets you see. I make them go where I want. to reload during a battle. There's nothing
I love to reload during a battle.
long silver bullet into a well-greased chamber. I need help. You better hurry up. The old man's not gonna last too long. Don't you want to settle this?
I'm smoking.
I love the smell of Corda. You know, that sultry smell. But to you, it'll be the smell of your own. You're pretty good. Just what I'd expect from the man with the same code as the boss. It's been a long time since I had such a good fight, but I'm just getting warmed up. What? My hand! Stealth camouflage. Can't you even die right? You were lucky. We'll meet again! Who are you? I'm like you. I have no name. That exoskeleton.
Can you talk?
Who are you?
I'm not one of them. The DARPA chief told me he gave them his detonation code. What about yours?
Oh, I get it. Jim sent you. You're from the Pentagon.
Answer my question. What about your code? There's no time.
I talked.
What? Now the terrorists have both codes and can launch any time.
It's not like I didn't fight. I managed to resist Psycho Mantis's mind probe.
He couldn't read you? How'd you do it?
Surgical implants in my brain.
Surgical implants?
Kind of like a psychic insulation. Everyone who knows these top secret codes has it.
Even the DARPA chief?
Of course.
But the DARPA chief said
So you
Mantis
decided to
got
play
his
an
code
actual
by
good
reading his
Kojima
mind.
game? Yeah, exactly.
Are you sure
the best.
you heard him right?
The best.
Yeah, I'm sure. In that case, how did they get your code?
I never had any training on how to resist torture.
This
It looks like he had some fun with you, all right.
Oh, he's not
impressive
human.
how good it holds
I
up.
tell you, he loved every second of it.
What happened to your arm?
He broke it.
Looks like you're more than even now. His was sliced off.
Ha, you're a funny man. So the DARPA chief, is he okay?
Dead.
What? Can't be. You know, that's not what you promised, Jim. Now you want to shut me up?
Calm down. What's wrong with you? I just told you I was here to save you. I didn't kill the DARPA chief. He had a heart attack or something.
A heart attack? Oh, don't be a fool.
Anyway, the terrorists have both codes now.
Those boys are totally insane. They wouldn't hesitate to launch.
I agree, but what do they really want?
Oh, who knows? Maybe they're like us in the arms industry, always looking forward to the next good war.
Well, I'm not gonna let these maniacs start a war today. You still have the card keys?
Card keys?
To override the detonation code. I heard you had them.
No, not anymore.
What? Who does then? Not the terrorists?
No, that woman.
Woman? Who?
A soldier that was thrown in prison along with me.
A female soldier, it must be.
She said she had just joined up as a new recruit. They threw her in prison because she refused to take part in the rebellion.
A new recruit? Could that be the Colonel's niece?
I gave her the key. Looks like she managed to break out of here, though. I hope she's okay.
I'm sure she is. She's green, but as tough as they come. But how did you know she escaped?
I was in contact with her by codec. Until I was tied up here, that is.
Codec?
Yes, she stole it from the guard. If she still has it, you should be able to contact her.
I'm sure she still has it. What frequency was she at?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, it's... Oh, sorry. I forgot.
Damn!
Oh, that's right. It should be on the back of the CD case. Try to contact her.
I'll contact her right away. But tell me, if this doesn't work, is there some other way to prevent the missile launch?
Ah, yeah. They put a codec code on the back of the CD
find
case.
Hal Emmerich, one of my employees.
Who's that?
The team leader of the Metal Gear Rex project. A genius at engineering, but a little bit of an oddball. If there's anyone who can figure out how to stop Metal Gear from launching, it's him.
What if he can't come up with anything?
You'll have to destroy it. Emmerich knows how to destroy Metal Gear.
Where is this Emmerich?
Well, he's probably being held somewhere in the nuclear warhead storage building. It's north from here. That's where he worked.
I understand, but why Metal Gear? The nuclear age ended with the turn of the millennium.
Oh, you're wrong. The threat of nuclear war isn't gone. In fact, it's greater than it's ever been. The amount of spent nuclear fuel and plutonium is increasing even today. Listen, have you ever seen a warehouse full of nuclear material?
No.
Drums and drums of nuclear waste stacked this high, as far as you can see, because there's still no real way to dispose of the stuff.
So they just close the lid and try to pretend like it'll go away?
Essentially, yes. And they're not even doing a good job of storing it. Many of the drums are corroded, with nuclear waste seeping out of them.
Unbelievable.
Not only that, but several pounds of MUF are reported every year.
MUF?
It stands for material unaccounted for. It proves that there's a large and well-organized black market in nuclear materials. Furthermore, since the end of the Cold War, Russian nuclear engineers in particular are out of work with no way to turn. In other words, there's plenty of available nuclear material and scientists for making a bomb. We live in an age when any small country can have a nuclear weapons program.
What about the other superpowers?
Russia and China still maintain a significant nuclear presence. Complete nuclear disarmament is an impossibility. To maintain our own policy of deterrence, we need a weapon of overwhelming power.
You mean Metal Gear?
Yes. You know our industry suffered quite a blow as a result of the cuts in military budgets due to this so-called peace.
I remember hearing a lot about mergers and takeovers among the big weapons makers.
Yes, and after my company lost their bid to produce the Air Force's next line of fighter jet, the Metal Gear system was our last ace in the hole. That's why we pushed to have Metal Gear developed as a black project.
Black project?
Secret projects paid for by the Pentagon's black budget. You can avoid a lot of red tape and get a great lead time on your weapons production. And no one can bother you. Not even those bleeding heart liberals on the Military Oversight Committee.
Bribes.
I prefer to think of it as good business. Anyway, Metal Gear was going to be formally adopted after the results of this exercise were analyzed.
I don't give a crap about you and your company.
Yes, that's about what I'd expect from a grunt like you. Here, this is what you came for, right?
What's that?
An optical disc. It's all here. The main hard drive was destroyed by gunfire. This is the only remaining copy of the data.
What kind of data?
All the data collected from this exercise. Don't play dumb. I know you were sent to get this. I hid it from that sadistic maniac while he was torturing me.
That's
They
the
don't know
writing
this
is,
disc
man,
exists.
is on another level.
Make sure you report this to Jim. To your boss. I'll give you my card too. It'll open up all security level 2 doors.
Can you walk?
No. No, you go on without me. They got my password. They don't want anything else from me.
I have one more question. Who or what was that ninja thing? It looked like you knew something.
That ninja? That was Foxhound's dark little secret.
Yeah, the sound is amazing. The voice acting, we just talked about this minutes ago. How good the acoustic quality is in this game and how professional the voiceovers. I mean, as to the English translation, yeah, that was not that common in '98. You still had a lot of Japanese games being translated rather in a very sloppy way, and they use expressions which really require good translators, yeah, and in a very fitting way. A very good choice of words, yeah, not here some Twitter shit or whatever. It's kind of crazy to think a PS1 game had this depth of current world politics meta references for the PS1 made stealth gameplay in 3D. Yeah. I mean, it was the first game of its kind. Yeah, those story games, sure, they were to some extent existing on the PC. Then we had Final Fantasy VII in '97, yeah, in '98 was the next bombast was Metal Gear Solid, yeah, 1. That was basically the first game, as I would say, that hit really this classic Hollywood experience, yeah, this high AAA Hollywood experience. It's great, well written, you can tell there's some dudes, man.
Dark little secret.
An experimental genome soldier.
You know him?
You should ask Dr. Naomi Hunter from Foxhound. She knows better than I.
Naomi?
You've got to stop them. If it goes public, my company
grounded.
and I are finished.
What? Doesn't Metal Gear use currently existing technology?
Metal Gear itself does, but... What did you do to me? Oh, no. Oh, no, it can't be. Those Pentagon bastards. So, they actually went and did it.
What are you talking about?
They're just using you for...
What the hell?
Colonel, are you listening? Now he's dead too.
I have no idea.
Don't lie to me.
It looked like another heart attack, but...
Some kind of poison?
Well, there are lots of drugs that can cause a heart attack in large doses. For example, potassium chloride or dioxides, but we won't be able to tell without doing an autopsy.
Damn!
Snake, I want you and Meryl to work together.
Can I trust her?
More than you can trust me. Get in contact with her.
Snake, there's a lot of electrical interference coming from there. It should be okay if you do burst transmission like us, but normal transmission is probably impossible. Try moving away from that area.
Snake, get a hold of yourself.
Naomi, what the hell was that ninja thing? A member of Foxhound?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, we have no one like that in our unit.
Is that right?
Snake, I'm counting on you.
Snake, you can't use your radar in that area. There's some kind of electronic jamming coming from there. I wonder what it is. Anyway, be careful.
Farmers. Ooh. Better get a smoke out. I think you also see you also see it on the farmers, right? This game was, I mean, a PlayStation in general, yeah. But this game specifically was, I don't know, 5 years ahead when it came to sound design. 10 years ahead, perhaps, I don't know. The quality, yeah. I mean, Gran Turismo, yeah, was okay. No, I think Metal Gear Solid was really as compared to PC games. I mean, we just recently played Deus Ex 2001. Still had, which I like. I like this old school sound, but it's old school. Yeah? Suppressor. Yeah, I don't have the CD box. I need to quickly check for the codec frequency. They printed that on the back. I guess as some sort of Easter egg or something. Sometimes they also did that as some sort of copyright copy protection. But I don't think you even need it. Entirely sure. $140.15. Okay.
Who are you?
I was really impressed with the way you busted yourself out of there.
The one from the prison?
You're the Colonel's niece, Meryl, right?
No, it's not him. Just exactly who are you?
I'm the fool that your uncle sent all alone into the middle of this whole mess.
You came by yourself? You think you're some kind of one-man army?
I don't need lectures. You're just like your uncle, you know?
How do you know my uncle?
We go way back.
What's your name?
My name's not important.
Aha. Could you be Snake? Are you Solid Snake?
That's what some people call me.
The legendary Solid Snake? You? Sorry about before. I wasn't sure if you were one of the good guys.
But I knew you were.
How?
It's your eyes.
My eyes?
They're not soldiers' eyes.
And they're rookies' eyes, right?
No, they're beautiful, compassionate eyes.
Oh, just what I'd expect from the legendary Solid Snake. You trying to sweep me off my feet?
Snake.
Don't worry, you'll land back on them once you meet me. The reality is no match for the legend, I'm afraid.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Why did you look so surprised when you saw my face?
Because you look just like him.
You mean the terrorist leader, Liquid Snake?
Yeah, you know him? You're not brothers, are you?
I have no family.
So what's the deal then?
Who knows? Why don't you ask him? But first I want some information. You were involved in this exercise from the beginning. What exactly happened here?
I'm sorry. I was captured along with President Baker right after the terrorist attack.
That's okay. But what is this place? I don't think it's just a nuclear weapons disposal facility.
Boy, oh boy, it's just like them. Nobody told you anything, did they? Okay, you see, this place isn't really for disposing nuclear weapons. This base is owned and operated by a dummy corporation of arms tech.
This is a civilian base?
Right, for the development of Metal Gear.
Colonel.
Foxhound and the Next Generation Special Forces were called here for the test launching of a dummy nuclear warhead.
Why Foxhound?
Because they're a special ops group used to handling top-secret missions. They figured they could help keep it all hush-hush.
But we must have fired nuclear warheads before. Why just this time?
I heard it was because this was to be a final test before the formal adoption of the Metal Gear program. That's what I heard anyway.
Sounds kind of fishy. So what do you think the terrorists want?
Sorry, I'm not sure. I was captured with President Baker right after the revolt started.
Oh yeah, that's when he gave you the detonation code override keys, right?
That's right.
Amazing you were able to keep them hidden from the guards.
Well, women have more hiding places than men. Anyway, you met Baker, huh? How's he holding up?
He's dead.
What?
Heart attack. Same as the DARPA chief.
The chief died from a heart attack too?
Yeah. Was either of them sick or anything?
No, not that I heard of.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences. Something funny's going on.
Sounds like it, but I have no idea what.
Me neither. Yet. Do you know the person who designed Metal Gear?
You mean Dr. Emmerich?
Yes. Is he still alive?
Probably. He should be in the research lab in the second-floor basement of the nuclear warhead storage building to the north.
Second-floor basement?
Yeah, that's where his lab is. I think they're forcing him to work on the nuclear launching program.
So they'll need him alive until that's done anyway.
Then we better do something before he finishes.
You're right. In case we can't override the detonation code in time, I need to ask him how to destroy Metal Gear.
You plan to take that thing on by yourself, Snake?
It won't be the first time. What's the best way to get to the building where the doctor is being held?
There's a cargo door on the first floor of this building that leads to the north.
What's the security level of the door there?
5. But it's okay. I've got a level 5 card.
Well, I've got to go save the doctor. You should go.
I'm going with you.
No way. You're still too green. I want you to hide somewhere.
I'm not green.
Oh, yes, you are. You pause for just 1 second in front of your enemy and it's all over. Good luck doesn't last forever.
I don't know what happened. I just couldn't pull the trigger right away. I never had any problems in training, but when I thought about my bullets tearing through those soldiers' bodies, I hesitated.
Shooting at targets and shooting at living, breathing people are different.
Ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamed about being a soldier. Every day of my life, I've trained my mind and body for the one day when I could finally see some real action, and now...
So what now? You want to quit?
I can't quit. I can't allow myself to quit now.
Listen, Meryl, everybody feels sick the first time they kill someone. Unfortunately, killing is one of those things that gets easier the more you do it. In a war, all of mankind's worst emotions, worst traits come out. It's easy to forget what a sin is in the middle of a battlefield.
But this isn't a war. It's a terrorist action.
You're just a little jumpy from the combat high. The adrenaline in your bloodstream is starting to thin out. Just take it easy.
But I learned all about combat high at the academy.
We'll talk about it later. For now, just think about keeping yourself alive.
If I get out of here alive, I'll think about that other stuff.
Okay. Let me try to say this another way. Stay the hell out of my way.
You're a real bastard. Just like my uncle said.
Huh. I told you, the real me is no match for the legend.
It looks like you were right. Okay, Snake. I'll be a good girl.
We'll link up after I grab the doctor. Then we'll take care of the detonation code override.
Gotcha. But listen, I know this area better than you. Call me if you have any questions.
Be careful, okay?
After I open up the cargo door, I'll contact you.
What can I do for you, Snake?
unlock the cargo door for you.
Thanks. Where are you?
Where I can see ya.
Don't move around too much.
Don't worry, I'm disguised in this enemy uniform.
You won't be for long with the way you walk.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Listen, Snake, the cargo door is like an airlock. It's equipped with infrared sensors. Be careful. If an intruder is sensed, gas is released.
Gas?
Okay, so we'll meet at the nuclear warhead storage building.
Wait, you said you'd stay put and be a good girl.
I changed my mind.
Don't get careless. That's when things always turn sour.
Sorry, but this is the only way I can figure out whether or not I'm cut out to be a soldier. I gotta get my hands dirty.
These guys are professionals. You're gonna get yourself killed.
See you there.
Dude changed his patrol behavior. Wait. Where's my suppressor? Ah, it was there, right?
are you?
There's a red dot flying. There's some dude walk.
Snake, answer me! Snake!
God
Snake!
Fucking hell. Was there a way to jump down, man? God damn it.
Who are you?
I was really impressed.
Be careful, Snake. That airlock is set with infrared sensors. You probably can't see them with your naked eyes, but there are infrared beams coming out of that wall. Touch any one of them and the doors will seal off and the place will be flooded with poison gas. Somehow you've got to get through without setting off those sensors.
Alter. Jetzt will ich was. Okay. So they picked that part because you didn't save for to make it a bit more exciting. Okay, wait, I need to hit the restroom.
Snakes don't belong in Alaska. I will not let you pass. Send him a message. That's right, you belong on the ground. You should crawl on the ground like the snake you are. Come, let's fight! See how you like this. Well, boss, I hope you are happy. He got the card.
We'll play with him a little longer.
You would be wise not to underestimate him.
What did you think of him?
He is just as you said. In battle, he is as if possessed by a demon. Much like you, I would expect no less.
See? I told you so. But I will kill him.
So, General Ivan, I hear he took your hand as well as your dignity.
Watch your tongue, shaman.
In the language of the Sioux people, Sioux means snake. It is known as an animal to be feared.
Well, Snake is mine now. When I meet him next, I'll take special care of him.
Not yet. Don't kill him yet.
He and I will meet again in battle.
Same prediction as always?
Yes, the raven on my head. It thirsts for his blood.
Be careful. You absolutely must not use weapons in that area.
I've already programmed the nanomachine so that he won't be able to, Colonel.
What? What are you talking about?
Have you forgotten? That's where they keep the nuclear warheads. Can't you see them?
Yeah, there's lots of boxes piled up here, but are they all warheads?
Yes, they're all dismantled warheads.
They just leave them here? It's like President Baker said, totally careless.
They're working on a limited budget. They try to put on a pretty face for the media, but this is the grim reality of it. Nastasha knows lots more about it than I do. Her frequency is 141.52.
All of the warheads in those boxes have had their detonation mechanisms removed, so there's no fear of them exploding. But if the warheads are broken, they might leak plutonium, and that would be a serious problem.
Snake, never use your weapon on that floor. Snake, you've got to rescue Dr. Snake, you've got to rescue Dr.
What is it, Snake? Snake, like Shakespeare said, knots had, all spent, while our desire is got without content. Basically, it means that your desire can get you into trouble if you're not careful. That goes for items, too. Don't get too greedy or you might be sorry. Be careful, Snake.
What was that noise?
Watch out. That place is filled with gas. Also, the floor is electrified. First, destroy the high voltage switch. It's the switchboard on the northwest wall.
But how? I can't reach it.
Use a remote-controlled missile.
Who are you?
Just call me Deep Throat.
Deep Throat? The informant from the Watergate scandal?
Never mind about that.
You're not using burst transmission. Are you nearby? Who are you, anyway?
One of your fans.
Snake, you can't use the radar because something's jamming it. And whatever's doing it is very close to you. Be careful. Be careful, Snake.